Credits. That is the new buzzword in the premium credit card game. High-end cards justify huge annual fees by giving you credits for many different merchants and services. From Dunkin Donuts to Saks Fifth Avenue, from Five Guys burgers to luxury hotels like Bellagio in Las Vegas. These credits don't always make sense when you consider all of them together, and it can sometimes feel like it's not even worth it. American Express is by far the worst offender in this. Its Gold card charges a $325 annual fee, while other cards of the same tier charge $95. But the Gold card has a load of credits that enable you to claw that annual fee back. And the AMEX Platinum card is now claiming over $3,500 worth of annual credits that offset a sky-high annual fee of $895. And a feature of all these credits is that if you don't use them in the set time frame, you lose them. So if you have one of these cards, although we would love to have more time to use the credits, we don't have that luxury. So it is essential for you to use all these credits up before they expire at the end of the year so that you can get back your hard-earned money that you already paid out in the annual fee. In this video, we are going to go through all of the little hacks to help you get maximum value out of your credits on the Amex Gold and Amex Platinum cards before the year is over. And if you're watching this video later on in 2026, it'll help you maximize the credits during normal times as well. Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show. My name is Ben Hedges, aka the Credit Shifu, and on this channel, I cover US credit cards, personal finance, and luxury travel. If you like the sound of that, please subscribe, but let's get into the video. Oh, and this video is brought to you by Silo Markets, the easiest way to earn millions of points, but more on that later. So we're gonna start with the Gold card. This is kind of the warm-up, since there are way less credits than with the Platinum. The credits on the Gold card are a $120 dining credit split into $10 per month, a $100 resy credit split into $50 per 6 months, an $84 Dunkin Donuts credit split into $7 per month, and a $120 Uber Cash split into $10 per month. Now, this works out at $424 per year, so if you use all of them, you actually earn $99 since the annual fee is only $325. But you have to be genuinely getting value out of them, like are you really buying less groceries or saving on eating out because of your dining credit, right? So let's look at the best way to use these that will actually save you money. We'll start with that dining credit. So it's $120 a year split into $10 per month, and it refunds you for spending at the following merchants: Grubhub, The Cheesecake Factory, Goldbelly, Wine.com, and Five Guys. I think for most people, the best way to use this is just to immediately download the Grubhub app, and that is because almost every restaurant that exists in the US is on Grubhub. And the cool thing about Grubhub is, versus Uber Eats and stuff, is that you can select pickup instead of delivery. So you are not wasting money on delivery fees and a tip for a driver who's probably going to be late anyway, like with Uber Eats. Seriously, I ordered a $12 burrito bowl from Chipotle the other day with Uber Eats, and it came out to like $21. But with this, you just select pickup in the top right-hand corner, and it gives you a map of where all the restaurants are, and there are even convenience stores that you can order stuff from too. And then the money you spend is really just going on food, not delivery fees. There are many lunch items that cost, say, $10 to $12, so it could be a free lunch or a $2 lunch, and if you're going to have to buy lunch anyway, then this is really effective use of the credit. I got this delicious poutine today from a local barbecue place near my office. It was $18, so I got a $18 lunch for $8 after the credit. Now, of course, if you do happen to go to Five Guys or Cheesecake Factory, or you're into wine and you use wine.com, then by all means use it there. But I think Grubhub is going to be the most effective way for the largest number of people. And the most effective way within that is to use pickup instead of delivery. All right, next let's look at the Resy credit. Now, Resy is a collection of mid to high tier restaurants and also a booking platform to book said restaurants. On the Gold card, the Resy credit is $50 per 6 months, and you don't need to book your table through Resy, okay? So in the past, I've actually gotten the credit accidentally at Dinosaur Barbecue in Troy, just because I used the Gold card at that restaurant and it happened to have joined Resy, okay? But it is handy to use resy.com to look up where the restaurant programs are. You'll especially need to do this if you're living out in the countryside where there are way less restaurants in the program, right? You're gonna get way more choice in big cities. But for me, there are 3 or 4 of them within 30 minutes drive from my house, and I live near a sort of medium-sized town. Now, one little hack for this, though, is that any spending at these restaurants counts, okay? So if said restaurant also sells gift cards, you could buy, say, a $50 gift card and then use that together with the new $50 credit that you'll get at the beginning of the next year, okay, in January when it resets. So then you'll have $100 to spend on a meal, which is a little more realistic, especially if it is for two people, all right? $50 is not going to cover a meal at most of these restaurants. Just know that you can't buy the gift card off resy.com, okay? That's just a prepaid Amex card with Resy branding. It's got to be directly from the restaurant. All right, let's now look at the Dunkin credit. So this is $7 per month for a total of $84 per year. Most likely, you'll just buy a coffee and a donut once a month, and that covers it. They also have a $6 meal deal with tax that should end up around $7. But if you do want to save up these credits to have more of a significant meal at Dunkin, all right, not sure why you'd want to do that. Or actually, I can think of a reason you might want to save up the credits. Either you travel somewhere and you're nowhere near a Dunkin branch for the whole month, or you live nowhere near where a Dunkin branch is and you do want to save up the credits to use when you go on vacation or on a business trip. Let's say you're going to somewhere that has Dunkin and your home state doesn't have it, okay? Well, you can download the Dunkin app and use the Amex Gold card to load $7 onto it each month and then just build up that balance to use when you're somewhere with a Dunkin. People on Reddit have confirmed that this works. All right, lastly, let's look at Uber Cash. Now, Uber Cash is just deposited in your account as $10 per month, and if you don't use it, you lose it. So make sure to use it every month. You can use it for Uber Eats instead of Uber Rides, which gives you perhaps more choice and more chance of using it if you live in an area where you just drive everywhere like I do. I never really use Uber because I just drive my own car. Just remember, you do have to have an Amex card as your backup payment method, otherwise the Uber Cash won't get triggered. So those are the credits on the Amex Gold. Most of them are monthly. The Resy credit is the only one with an out of the ordinary hard deadline coming up at the end of the year. So all the knowledge that I just shared, Yep, all that knowledge is good for getting those credits used up before the end of the year or just optimizing the credits every month. All right, let's move on now to the Amex Platinum, where way more of the credits have a deadline at the end of the year. But first, earning business class tickets just got a whole lot easier. If you want to earn millions of points, you need to keep listening.
How much did you have?
45 million?
You probably could go on a trip.
Yeah, no, I definitely can.
Silo Markets is the easiest way now to earn points. If Built made rent earn points, then Silo makes your investment portfolio earn points. Hands-off, automatic, and often worth far more than any traditional rewards program. Silo works like any brokerage, supporting stocks, bonds, and ETFs. For every dollar you invest, you earn 1 point per year, and you can simply transfer your existing portfolio to start earning immediately. You can have up to 4 accounts, think regular brokerage account, IRA, etc., with a limit of 500,000 points per year on each account. So at the high end, you could earn up to 2 million points per year. And right now, Silo has extended its limited time 300,000 point launch bonus, which is worth at least $3,000. So by just transferring your existing portfolio, you can earn up to 800,000 points on one account in your first year. Silo points redeem for 1 cent per point today, so that would be equivalent to $8,000. But Silo's team is working hard on adding major transfer partners like Hilton, American Airlines, and Delta by the end of next year. This will make your points go much further. Now, what about security, you may ask? Well, Silo is in partnership with IBKR, which holds custody of all assets. This ensures your assets stay safe with $5 million in FDIC insurance and $500,000 in SIPC coverage. Silo is the simplest, most effortless way to earn a massive amount of points by investing exactly like you already do. They've extended their 300,000 point bonus, and it's only available this month. Sign up today to lock that in and start earning points on your investments. All right, let's talk about the Amex Platinum. Now, the credits that are monthly on the Amex Platinum, I'll either not talk about them or I'll just go through them very quickly, okay, and spend more time on the ones that have a unusual deadline at the end of the year. So like the Gold, the Platinum has an Uber credit, okay? This is a monthly one, okay? It's $200 per year, and that is split to $15 per month. But in December, right now, it's $25. Okay, that's the one exception, $25 in December. So at the end of the year, don't forget that you do have that higher amount to use up, okay? And if you have the gold card as well as the platinum like I do, that's going to be $35. So don't spend $15 and think you're done, all right? You need to spend $25 to use up that credit. Go get yourself a $21 burrito and a Mexican Coke from Chipotle and that should cover it. Next, let's look at the hotel credit. Now, this was recently increased to $600 and thus it is the single biggest credit on the Amex Platinum card. It's split into 2 times $300 in each half of the year. And this is on prepaid hotels. So my idea with this one is that I can book a hotel for next spring before the end of this year and get refunded $300. And then when the credit resets in January, book another night at the same hotel, all right, for the following night to make up a 2-night stay. Now, it is possible to find hotels that are just around $300 per night, even in the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection, all right? You don't want to use the cheaper hotel collection because then with that, you have to stay 2 nights to get the credit, all right? And then that's probably gonna work out more expensive actually because you have to book 2 nights now. But if you look at Las Vegas, for example, while many of the old favorites like the Bellagio, etc., were out of the program for a while, now many of these hotels are back. So look at the Cosmopolitan and the Bellagio, both are around $300 per night on weeknights in May 2026. So I could book either of those and then book another night in January, and I just got an almost free 2-night vacation in Vegas. Obviously I need to pay for flights, but I can use points for that as well. So anyway, the point is you just have to make the prepaid booking now to get the credit, and the stay can actually be next year. If you can find something that's exactly $300, like I almost did in Vegas, okay, they were only just a little bit above when you add in the taxes, you're gonna pay nothing. And so you could even book thinking that you may or may not go, and it isn't a big deal if you end up busy at that time and not actually going on the trip, all right? Obviously, last resort, you wanna get the value, but it's not like you're losing money. All right, let's now look at the new Lululemon credit, which was just added this year. This is $300 per year, $75 per quarter. So here are some tips for getting value out of it. First, go to Rakuten.com and click through to Lululemon. This will get you 2x extra Amex points or 2% cashback, whatever you choose to redeem as, for purchases at Lululemon. If you are not a Rakuten member, you can sign up in the description below with my link. You get a $50 bonus after you make your first purchase, all right? Link is down below. Then if you want the most value out of this, go to the We Made Too Much section on Lululemon's website where you can find them selling off excess products, and you can get some really good discounts. Like this hoodie is reduced from $138 all the way down to $79. Okay, not sure why you would want a Lululemon Mickey Mouse hoodie, but you know, you get my point, all right? There's normally some good stuff in there, some stuff that you want. You can also search by gender, size, etc. to find stuff that's appropriate for you. Normally I buy underwear from there. I like these Always in Motion briefs. So remember, you have $75 to use before the end of the year. If for some reason you can't, you can consider going to a Lululemon store and buying a physical gift card. Even though Amex says this doesn't count, it is likely that you will get the credit for this. Just don't buy a gift card on their website, since it will be a separate gift card company that charges your account, and thus you won't get refunded. Even for gift cards in store, you should look at the latest data points on Reddit to make sure it still works. All right, let's move on to the Saks credit. This one is $100 per year, split into $50 every 6 months. Now, like the Lululemon credit, I recommend clicking through Rakuten first for extra points. It's currently 2 points per dollar, but on Black Friday, it went all the way up to 15. And you know, Saks is one of the ones that really does, they really do pump the cashback or the points through Rakuten, all right? So always check Rakuten first to see what rate they're doing at Saks, and definitely click in, even if it's just 1 or 2 points. And at the end of the year, Saks is a great one to use for Christmas presents for family, since everyone knows it's a pretty high-end store, and when they see something from Saks, they're like, oh, you went to Saks, thank you so much. Just don't tell them about the Amex Platinum credit. All right, let's move on to the airline credit. Now, this one is $200 a year for airline fees, all right? Not actual flights, it's things like lounge access, seat fees, upgrade fees, etc. In the past, I've selected American Airlines as my airline and used it for lounge access to the Admirals Club. I've also done the same thing with Delta, and I've used it to buy day passes to the Delta Sky Club. And that would be for guests that I want to bring in because I was able to get myself in using the Amex Platinum card. But what if you are not traveling before the end of the year, or you are not traveling on one of the very short list of airlines that qualify for this credit? Well, there are a couple of hacks. One is building up a balance in the United Travel Bank for future use. Just select United as your airline, and if you already selected an airline but didn't use the credit this year, you should be able to switch by phoning up, okay? Don't think it's too late. I've done that before, as long as you haven't used any of the credit. Then go to the United Travel Bank website, load money into your account using the Platinum card as your payment method, and the Travel Bank cash that you have purchased will be good for 5 years. So you've effectively extended the airline credit by 5 years, and on top of that, it can now be used to buy flights, not just for other fees like lounge access or bag fees, etc. But do make sure to test it with a small purchase, all right, like $50 or $100. Don't do the $200 all at once. What if it doesn't work? You're screwed, all right? Well, you're not screwed. You can still use it for flights, but it's not very convenient. And to prepare for that as well, you can read the latest data points of other people trying it on Reddit, like this guy from a few days ago. It worked for me. Purchase $100 Travel Bank on November 23rd, redeem the credit on November 25th, and another $100 on November 30th, receive the credit on December 3rd. Charged my card as United Elec ticketing. Now, there is another even sneakier method with Southwest. Mark Rees has a whole video where he talks about both the United and Southwest methods. It looks like this. I'll put it on the end card of this video for you to click through and check out. All right, lastly, we have the Resy credit, and on the Platinum, that is for $400 per year. Using this credit is really the same as with the Gold card, all right? Look for restaurants on the Resy website, pick one that you like, and go there. If you don't want to eat there now, see if you can buy a gift card directly from the restaurant for use in the future. It's really worth it to max this out since it's also a big credit. And guys, if you max out those credits I talked about above, that's already going to be $1,600 in value, well offsetting the annual fee. And I didn't even go into many of the monthly credits or the ones that I think a lot of people don't use, like the Aura Ring credit. But anyway, that is my take on this, guys. A few tips to use up those credits before the end of the year, or just maximize them in general. And don't forget, if you want to start earning more points than you know what to do with, check out Silo Markets and their limited time 300,000 points welcome offer while it still lasts. Please subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.